The next partnership we're going to hear from is EMPROPAZ.
Soy una mujer desplazada, sí he sufrido 3 veces desplazamiento forzado.
For the past 60 years, Colombia has endured an armed conflict which has greatly affected the lives of its rural population. These people live in the midst of violence, poverty, few opportunities for personal development, and without access to education, technology, or the formal financial system. In addition, the arrival of thousands of migrants from Venezuela has created the need to make possible the integration of these people into Colombian society and economy. With the aim of contributing to the consolidation of peace in the affected territories, and in order to achieve in a sustainable way the inclusion of victims of the armed conflict and forced displacement, a program was created in 2018 by the name of EMPROPAZ, Productive Entrepreneurs for Peace, as a result of an alliance between private and public entities and with international cooperation in the context of USAID's Global Partnership for Development and with the combined efforts of Colombia's first microfinance bank, Bancamia, an entity of the BBVA Microfinance Foundation, USAID, Colombia, Colombian World Corporation for Women, Medellin's World Corporation for Women, and 2 NGOs, shareholders of Bancamia. EMPROPAZ has promoted opportunities for progress and for the generation of licit income through support programs for entrepreneurs by means of a financial inclusion plan comprising savings, investment, protection, credit, and financial education, as well as business training and emotional coaching.
Entonces, cuando yo empiezo a aprender todo eso, para mí fue lo más hermoso porque pues no tenía idea de cómo hacer un empaque. Con las cartillas miré que había distintos modelos de empaque según el producto, aprendí a hacer costos. Siento que el apoyo en Tumaco es una barrera y también fue una barrera para Altamisa. Pues gracias a Dios yo conocí EMPROPAZ y creyeron en mí y he avanzado.
Micro-entrepreneurs like Celia have been able to access the EMPROPAZ route, a development process that supports the creation of new ventures and the strengthening of existing micro-enterprises. By having access to financial products and services under special conditions, in addition to training and business guidance, both face-to-face and virtual, beneficiaries develop skills to generate business plans.
Llegué a Colombia hace 4 años. Fue difícil los primeros meses, es difícil estar solo, separado de la familia. Se han convertido para nosotros en un aliado muy importante, ya que gracias a ellos hemos podido empezar a cumplir nuestros sueños.
EMPROPAZ has made available to small agricultural producers credit lines that make possible for them to finance their adaptation to climate change, as well as the use of clean and renewable energy sources. And in order to enhance credit inclusion, blended finance instruments are offered, along with a seed fund that enables people to launch new ventures.
Hace 5 años iniciamos este programa todos los aliados, llenos de esperanza por contribuir en la construcción de la paz en Colombia. Y lo hemos medido para saber cuál ha sido el impacto del trabajo en la vida y negocios de los microempresarios atendidos. Así, encontramos que el 28% de los beneficiarios han superado la línea de pobreza monetaria después de finalizar su ruta de acompañamiento. Gracias a ese apoyo que recibieron, muestran crecimientos interanuales del 25% en ventas y del 31% en utilidades y en activos, lo cual representa oportunidades de desarrollo para sus familias y nos demuestra que crear iniciativas como EMPROPAZ moviliza a las regiones desde las habilidades y capacidades de sus pobladores.
It is still necessary for promoters to increase social responsibility and shared values to achieve the reality of which we all need to be a part of, by helping people enjoy equal access to their citizens' rights, thus making possible a long-lasting peace in Colombia.
Muchas gracias por realizar nuestros sueños.
Se consolida el proceso a través del conocimiento que adquirí. EMPROPAZ para mí significa una oportunidad.
And representing EMPROPAZ, we have Miguel Achury.
Thanks for joining us, Miguel, and thanks for that lovely video. I was wondering if you could just talk us through the seed fund specifically. I know that that's been called out in your video and in your applications here as a highlight of how you're thinking about the financial sustainability of this partnership over time. And so really kind of curious just to better understand the mechanics of that.
Thank you for the question. Yes, the seed fund is something that is giving sustainability to the program. But it was intended to be the source of resources when USAID resources are not present in the program. So the micro-entrepreneurs pay interest over the loans they are granted. And with those interests, we make that the fund grows up. And as the fund grows up, it's generating resources for the future micro-entrepreneurs who are going to need to be served. And in that way, we are going to have resources in the future, not only to lend, but also to pay the accompaniment we give to them. And this is a kind of solidarity between them, because they know that with the credit they are granted, they don't only receive the trust of the bank. They take the commitment to do the best with that loan, because they know if they pay, they are going to generate resources for the others to come behind. This fund was created with resources from USAID, 90%, and resources from Banca Mia, 10%. And we are expecting to offer it to the private sector as a way to fulfill sustainability requirements or commitments they have. Sometimes that money is given for free to populations, and we are not against that. It's a valid way, but it would be better if they are able to take that money into a seed fund that is going to grow up on, and is going to give opportunities for the others. Also, that seed fund is intended to be a mechanism of blended finance in the future. We will invite also, for example, local governments in order to consider if they want to give a guarantee, for example, a mechanism of inclusion, of financial inclusion, or if they want to invest. And we are going to give that seed fund a profitability that is not only linked to money, but also to social responsibility and environmental commitment. Thank you.
Congratulations on a very comprehensive program looking at different aspects and different models. As the program has kind of progressed, do you see it shaping the market overall for microfinance in Colombia? Have you seen kind of others kind of getting affected by the ripples and doing something similar?
Well, it's a very complicated answer because it depends on the strategy of each institution. For example, for Banca Mia, it's very important to create social value to its clients. It's important to create environmental value to its groups of interests. And in the way of that strategy is that we thought about a program able to give that value to our clients. And unfortunately, this is not the strategy of all financial institutions. I think it's a matter of time, because as the results come up, they are going to see that it is possible for a bank of such a size, more than 1 million clients, to serve people with these models, and those models are self-sustainable. This is the other challenge we may have, and the financial system is facing, because it's not easy if you don't have a P3 scheme, for example. Because USAID is giving money for the operations and to measure capabilities to the enterprises that are leading the program. But when that money is not over there, we have a solution in place. For example, we have created EMPROPAZ Online, which is a different way to serve the clients, not face-to-face, but with a very sophisticated online platform. It's interactive, gamifications, you receive medals if you complete some steps of the programs, and you receive back a networking that is for you, and to know each other, to discuss problems, because the entrepreneurship is a solitary or a lonely exercise. So we have to create networking for them, and it is very possible through, for example, EMPROPAZ Online. And well, it depends on the creativity, it depends on the commitments, it depends on the results we are achieving, because as they are seen, maybe others will be willing to go to that path.
Thank you. I have a question specifically, and congratulations. I mean, it's really an amazing program, about the migrant population that you're attending, right? So EMPROPAZ, I think, is transversal, right? It can be to anyone, but you have a focus on lots of the Venezuelan migrants who came to Colombia. Do you have statistics on how that accelerates into their whole inclusion into the society? Do they stay versus moving on? Do they formalize their businesses? I mean, if you could share perhaps some of the other impacts in addition to the reduction in poverty and the growth that are very impressive.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Well, that population is very interesting because in the middle of the pandemic, we were challenged by USAID. EMPROPAZ is working in rural municipalities. Would you be able also to receive people coming from Venezuela, not to the rurality, but to the urban centers? And the answer was, let me think, let me see. And the bank saw it and said, yes, I want to commit with that. And why? Because they have more sophisticated business. They are people that want to contribute to the development of the economy in Colombia. Not all of them, of course, but the one we are selecting are committed to stay here in Colombia. And we promote those kind of decisions through reflections exercises with them. For example, do you really have a plan to be here in Colombia? Are you planning to go to the south frontier of the United States? What do you want to do with your life? If you really want to stay here with us, we can provide you training, we can provide you financial access, and we can give you solutions in order for you to be able to fulfill your dreams. That is a decision they have to make first. The second stage with them is to be sure that they are going to fulfill their obligations. Because, for example, financial inclusion is such a challenge in Colombia. We don't have any information. We don't have any credit history that we can consult and know if they are going to pay or not. So this is a little bit more complicated. But anyway, if they decide to go through, for example, a credit, that they want to go to that commitment, we are always accompanying them in order to form a culture of payment because they don't know the Colombian financial system. So they have to be guided step by step, step by step. And first, we aim them to save before going to a credit. Because if you are used to save, to keep some money in order to fulfill a purpose, it is easier when you have a credit to go in that conduct. That population is very interested, for example, in integrating with the socio-economical reality of Colombia, and they want to contribute. If you look at them as some poor people coming from Venezuela because they are running out of a difficult situation, I think this is a wrong way of viewing this. They have an opportunity to contribute to Colombia, and we have to look at them in that way. And if we look at them in that way, we are going to receive back all of the creativity, all of the commitment that they are giving to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all these wonderful answers already. But my question is, I was referring back to the detailed notes, and what really impressed me was it looks like nearly 60% of the businesses supported by the program were owned by women. So I wondered if you could talk about that a bit more, how you selected them, and if going forward there's a specific lens for women-owned businesses.
Thank you. Well, the program has a transversal issue that is gender. And why gender? Because we are serving victims of the conflict, a war and displacement. And it has marked that women in Colombia are responsible for the home care. For example, there are not too many men to work in the farms because they were taken to war since they were just children. And so they are carrying that wage, and we have to help them. We have to support them. The way we proceed in order to select them is to go to the different populations, municipalities, asking for the associations, women associations. And we establish contacts with them, and try to know what kind of activities, economic activities, they are developing in that sites. And then we invite them. For example, 300, 400 people, 99% of them are women, and we tell them what EMPROPAZ is, and we invite to transform their lives if they want, through training, access to financial services, climate change adaptation, and to be able to, for example, liberate time in order to be more productive. Because women, you know, are all the time taking care of everybody, everywhere. But if they learn how to do the exercise of enterprise in a better way, and the family is supporting them, they will be able to liberate. For example, we have measured that in EMPROPAZ. 1 hour, you can't imagine what an hour means in the life of these people. With an hour additional per day, they are able to grow their business in a better way than men. And the reality is that when we look for the figures of the growing of the business of the woman, we find that they grow very fast, faster than men's business. But suddenly they stop growing. Why is it? Men go on growing, but they don't, because they have to dedicate time to another kind of things. So we are very sensitive about that. We have several modules in the program trying to train that conduct, because it's a conduct, a human conduct, that we can change through training, through information, and delegating some of the duties of the home to another members of the family, helping them to liberate time. So for us, it is very important to be with women, because they are the real motor of transformation of the society in Colombia, and I am afraid that in the world.
Thank you, Miguel.
Okay.